Hey everyone, welcome to PO Motors. Today I'm going to disassemble AMN D2866 engine. This is an inline 6-cylinder engine with a 128 mm piston diameter and it's turbocharged. There's one turbocharger installed. So this engine specifically, this one is installed in a Setra bus. What's the reason for removing this engine? We measured the compression and it turns out the 5th cylinder. We used a non-original cap during washing to keep dirt out. Here is the original cap. Compression in the 5th cylinder is 0, and in the others as well. Here it's the minimum possible. The 1st and 2nd cylinders, I think, are also at the minimum. That's it for now. I'll keep recording the teardown. Maybe the next video will be about repairing and assembling this engine. Alright, let's go. First, I remove all the attachments from the top, all these hoses, pipes, and the turbocharger. I'll continue as I go. clutch was replaced recently, so it seems to be in good condition. The coin was replaced because it was broken. I said the fifth one's compression was 0. Based on the cylinder sleeves condition, it's likely in the fourth one. We measured it earlier, but I forgot. Probably the compression in the fourth one was 0. You can see scoring marks on the cylinder sleeve. Well, I'll take out the piston and we'll see. I can't recall if it was the fourth or fifth cylinder. Alright, let's drain the oil. Alright, we can see that there's no metal shavings in the oil pan. Only black oil. I took off the oil pan. Now I'm unscrewing the oil pump and taking out the pistons. Alright, so we can see that the bearings are in good condition, but I replaced the bearings about 2 years ago on the spot without removing the engine. Back then I replaced the bearings and the rings. So I took out the fourth piston and both the fourth and fifth ones. So basically the piston is fine. The rings are intact with barely any scratches. Not sure, so I'll check the cylinder heads. So there's probably some problem with the valves. So basically the pistons, well, I'll need to measure them, clean them and check them. Well, they seem to be in satisfactory condition. If you look at the liner, specifically on the fourth cylinder, you can see that it's all scored. Strange. So for example, on the fifth one, there's nothing like that. There's nothing like that on the third one either. But specifically on the fourth sleeve, on the fourth cylinder. Alright, since I haven't found the cause yet, I'll check the cylinder heads. For now, I'm continuing to take it apart. Alright, let's align and check the timing marks. There are no other marks here, so when we reassemble, we'll know that these marks are the correct ones. Someone marked the camshaft here. Sometimes the gear on the camshaft gets rotated. Apparently someone marked it so that if it got rotated, it could be restored. So let's see what condition our main bearings are in. You can see there's already wear and some scratches appearing. So let's check. The size we have is standard. And let's see, these bearings are from 1994. These bearings are still the original factory ones. It turns out this is the first time they've been removed since 1994. Let's check the condition of the other bearings. You can see that they're all already worn out. Here's the rear one, which is located near the flywheel, and it has the most wear. Let's inspect the shaft visually. We can see that it's in good condition. There's no wear on it. But of course, I'll still measure everything with a micrometer. But visually, it's in excellent condition. Since 1994, it's used its original factory bearings. And it's in this condition. It's hard to even guess how much it's been through since 1994. Let's check the bearings in the block. Alright, so I took out the camshaft, and right away you can visually see that some of the lobes are worn out. So for example, here you see, right, the lobe, here it is, you can see that it's in more or less normal condition. That is, it's tall and sharp. And here, for example, is a cam next to it. So you can see that it's worn down even visually. You can see how everything is chipped here. So the camshaft needs to be replaced. Let's measure the cam. That's in good condition. We see it's 67. It should be around 61. I can't recall now. I need to check the book. Now let's look at the nearby cam. It's already 58.5. Let's keep watching. Here 61, right? Ideally, yes, fist bump. 57.5 is the height of this fist. It's actually 57 millimeters. That means it's worn down by 4 millimeters. 4 millimeters. It works through the rod, through the rocker arm. The valve is 8 millimeters from fully open. This much. The valve moves about 12 millimeters total. So the valve was only moving 4 millimeters. That's the distance. Maybe the compression is related to this. There was no compression. But the camshaft definitely needs to be replaced. Okay, let's check the lifters. All the lifters are also chipped, so the lifters also need to be replaced. Especially this one, the most worn cam. Let's take it out and take a look. Let's see what condition the lifter is in. So, if the cam is still more or less okay somewhere, then the lifter isn't as chipped there. It's not in such terrible condition. The lifters also need replacing. Alright, I also want to remove any camshaft bushings now and check it. The year of manufacture should be stamped on it too. Let's see. Alright, let's check the bushing. And we see 93rd year, 0593. It likely won't show up on camera now. I'll record it on my phone now. I also noticed a casting mark on the block. 190493. So the block is from 93. There's a casting on the block. Here you can see 190493. Well, there's already corrosion's been eaten away by rust, but you can take it up. Here, 190493. Okay, now let's check the inserts. Here you see 0194. The block was produced in 93. The engine was built in 94. Next, let's check the camshaft bushing. Year 93. Also on another camshaft bush. Let's check that too. 0793 year 93. So that means the engine, well, was worked on. I did it myself personally. I replaced the connecting rod, bearings and piston rings. When we first bought this car, we opened it up and worked on it on the channel. But of course we didn't touch the main bearings at all. The main bearings and the camshaft bushings. So all of that is still original. The original camshaft is still installed and its lobes are already worn down like this. It's worn down nearly 5 millimeters. So you could say it practically doesn't open the valve at all. So this engine is from 1994. It still used its original bearings and bushings. I showed the crankshaft, it's in good condition with no scoring, but of course I'll still measure it and check it. Visually, there are no issues. So the engine is disassembled. So as I already mentioned, the bearings are still the original ones from the factory from 1994. They've been through a lot, I don't know, at least 2 million. The main reason for taking it apart was that it was consuming a lot of fuel. After measuring, some cylinders already had compression below acceptable levels. The piston rings were replaced about 2 years ago, maybe 3, I don't remember exactly. So they're still in good condition. Of course, now they need to be replaced. But the reason for the compression, the lack of compression, isn't in the rings. So what's the main primary reason? It's the worn out camshaft loop. They're worn down by more than 5 millimeters. So it turns out the valve wasn't opening at all. Considering the valve operates via a lever and rocker arm, nearly doubling its size, the valve was barely moving. Sometimes not opening in some cylinders. So this is what a more or less good cam looks like, and this is what a worn out cam looks like. The main problem with this engine is the camshaft. The camshaft will need to be replaced. The camshaft bushings, main bearings and connecting rod bearings will also need replacement. I'll measure and inspect the crankshaft. The lifters will also be replaced. The sleeves will be replaced since they're worn out. You can even feel it with your finger. That is, some of them have scratches. I'll clean and inspect the pistons. I don't like some of the pistons either. I'll measure them. Some of the pistons might need to be replaced too, but it's not clear yet. So the main things are the camshaft bushings, bearing sleeves, and piston rings, and of course all the gaskets. The engine's pump is already installed. The pump is refurbished. The pump and injectors are finished. Everyone blamed them, but the camshaft was actually the cause. I'll probably film the assembly. I'll film the engine assembly in a separate episode. But basically, that's all I wanted to say.